Hi, I'm Chris Howard, author of Turning Passions into Profit and Instant Wealth Wake Up Rich, and founder of the Academy of Wealth and Achievement. Although you may know me best as the guy who's delivered the Academy of Wealth and Achievement's world-renowned Breakthrough to Success seminar for the past 10 years or so. And I've been teaching this program all over the planet. I've been blessed to have this opportunity. It's been such a pleasure to visit countries, even my own country, the United States, to travel around teaching this 3-day program here in the States, Australia, England, Ireland, New Zealand, Canada, Europe, Southeast Asia. We've been all over the world, and it's been a blessing to travel. That's one of my favorite things to do, by the way, is to travel around, but also to have the good fortune to see so many people's lives transformed through this program. You know, it touches my heart when I think back to some of the people who've come through the program who literally taken their life in a different direction. There's a young guy named Stephen who came into one of our programs in Australia. And when Stephen came in, I saw him walking in, and he's down like this, and his head's down, and his spirit's in the gutter. That's what I felt like saying is, get your spirit out of the gutter, you know. And throughout the course of the 3-day program, his face starts to lift up. By the end, he's like this, and he walks up to me, and he's got to be 15 years old. He walks up and he grabs my hand, puts his hand out like that, and he says, "Thank you for changing my life." Now I said, "Thank you." I said, "But you changed your life. I didn't change your life. You know, I can be a great tour guide, but ultimately it's you who changes your life." But I'll tell you what, that moment with Stephen has stood in my memory forever. And I've dealt with heavy types of issues in terms of coaching people all over the planet, but that stands out in my memory more than anything else. You know, it's kind of like Walt Disney said, we don't make movies to make money, we make money to make movies. I love what I do. This is my passion. This is my mission. And I'm here to share with you how you can seize control of your destiny and create more wealth, prosperity, and fulfillment on every level of your life. I want to reveal to you how I went from living in a ghetto, a serious ghetto with gangs hanging out around and having to navigate our way through them, to becoming a successful multimillionaire in less than 3 years. How I was able to live an inspired life that's allowed me to really give back. And you know, honestly, that's what gives me more joy than anything. It gives my life meaning, the ability to give back, to teach, to share the gift of transformation. And I'm here to give you a free video training series based on the works of Breakthrough to Success and based on all the transformational tools that we have in the Academy of Wealth and Achievement that have allowed me to go from waiting tables and with $70,000 in debt to building a multi-million-dollar international empire in less than 3 years. So I went from $70,000 in debt to making that much in an hour sometimes, or even up to $3 million in sales in a single day. Now, not all the time, not every day, but often enough to make it noteworthy. So over the past 11 years, I've had the great fortune to truly live the life of my dreams, speaking, entertaining millions of people all over the world, helping people to make more money, create thriving relationships, and really live their dreams. I've had the good fortune to travel all over the world to dream destinations. I mean, imagine this. So you think about this for a second. You know, people come into our programs all the time, and they say, "Boy, I want more money." And I say, "Well, what would you do with the money if you had it?" And they say, "Travel." Well, you want to talk about travel? I've been so fortunate. I got to go to the island of Capri in the Blue Grotto. I've been there a few times in the past couple of years. If you haven't been there, you got to go. South Africa, stayed at Richard Branson's private game reserve there. I've been to Bora Bora and the huts over the water with the glass bottoms, or Fiji, or the Maldives, also the huts over the water. In Mongolia, went and stayed in the round tents that they put up out there. I forget what they call them, but they're really cool stoves that come out, and they've got wood stoves, and you burn the fire inside, so it keeps it nice and toasty and warm. Been to Machu Picchu in Peru, all over the planet. And I got to tell you something, it would not be unusual for all of the things that I just described to sometimes happen in a single year. Seriously, I've traveled a lot. Now, my point in telling you all this, and by the way, I love to travel. That's for me what means to live a rich life. You know, living a rich life is to me means experiencing anything that you want in life, and you deserve to do that. Now, my point in telling you all of this is not to brag about all the cool things I get to do or create. My point is to serve as an example to you of what's possible for you to create faster than ever before possible. If I can do it, you can do it. And if you're skeptical at all about that statement, I want you to consider this. Did you know that Richard Branson's executive office is a hammock on the beach? maybe there's some ways of doing things that are different than how you're currently doing them that work. That's all I'm saying. Why am I giving you this free video training series? Because my mission is to put the tools of the Academy of Wealth and Achievement in the hands of everybody on the planet. Because the world is a rapidly changing place. And in fact, I think we can all agree that change is happening faster than ever before in history. When you look at the technological changes that we're having, the advancements that we're making, the whole world's changing how it operates. And I've been teaching thousands of people in rooms, and I'd stand in a room, all over the world, in any country you can imagine, just about. But I'd stand in a room with 5,000 people in front of me for a Breakthrough to Success seminar, and it felt incredible to be able to help that many people make connections that would allow them to launch themselves onto their dream. Like Chris Gibson did, and becoming an author with his first book. It just came out, Memoirs of a Fat Bastard. Got to read it. Or lose 50 kilos or 50 pounds like Chris Gibson also did. He actually lost 52 kilos. Or go out and launch a business like Kate Gunn did. Kate Gunn is now the CEO, 1 year after coming to our trainings. She's now the CEO of a $10 million company. Or maybe launch in the direction of their passion and their dreams, like Trudy Pavlovsky, and starting the Dream Initiative, which is a training program for children. Or to create their ideal relationship, like Doug Belser. People have gotten all sorts of results over the years, and we've received literally hundreds, if not thousands of letters pouring into the office via the social networks, coming direct mail, coming email. You see more on Facebook now than any place else. I hope you interact with us on there as well. But we get all these great letters back, and please do send testimonials in terms of the profound levels of transformation that people have gotten from our Breakthrough to Success program specifically. And because the world is a changing place, the first question that I had to ask myself is this: how can we serve even more people? How can we serve even more people? How can we put these tools in the hands? People come to me for one thing, I believe. And this came out, I was having a conversation with a buddy of mine. His name's Scott Mednick. He was one of the co-founders of Legendary Pictures. He raised $500 million to launch this motion picture company. He's the executive producer of 300, 10,000 BC, Superman Returns, you name it, he's done it. Scott asked me, he said, Chris, he says, what do people come to you for inside your trainings? Why are they coming? I said, what they want more than anything, Scott, is freedom. They want the key to the doorway of freedom. Freedom to create what they want to create in their life, the freedom to play at the levels that they want to play at. And if I'm talking to you, pay attention. Because if you want that level of freedom, the freedom to create, the freedom to live your every dream, that's what we're here for. You come to the right place. And we've decided to do it through this free video training series where I'm going to give you solid content, strategies, and things that you can do immediately to produce breakthroughs in your own life and transform not only your life, but the lives of all those that you touch as well. Just through your example alone. Just a little bit about me as we start this video training series. I've always been into personal development. In fact, I took my first transcendental meditation class when I was 9 years old. I took my first clinical hypnosis class when I was 12 years old. I just got lucky. I had parents that were into personal development thing. And my real father was into real estate. My stepfather, who I grew up with, was into personal development. So I guess I had the best of both worlds. It was like rich dad, personal development dad. So anyway, any way you shake it. I came from a personal development background. I've been a martial artist all my life. I got my first black belt when I was 21 years old. Got a brown belt now in Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, and I'm a combatives instructor for the school as well. And I've always sought out ways to improve myself. However, there was a time in my past where I hit some very hard times. And I don't know if you can relate to this in any way, shape, or form, or maybe you know somebody who can relate. I'd worked in the hotel resort industry directly out of high school until I was 24 years old. And when I was 24 years old, I found myself in a pretty precarious place. I came back to the United States, and I had no clue how to run a business. I couldn't even balance a checkbook, let alone run a business. I couldn't even dream of running a business. Couldn't fold my own clothing. I was like a grown child. And so I came out with big dreams and hopes of things that I wanted to achieve. But yet all of those were crashed pretty quickly, and I found myself waiting tables. Now, for you, if that's your dream job to wait tables, spectacular. For me, it was not my dream job at all. I absolutely hated it. And, serving people is fine, but, having people say, hey, come over here, boy, and not to treat me that way, that wasn't cool with me. I hated the job. And I felt like I was capable of so much more than what I was doing. But you know, from there, once I began to get in my pity party, I guess you could call it, it just went on to get worse from there. My life wasn't working at all. I was frustrated, desperate, feeling alone. And I don't know, maybe you're in a place right now where you can relate. Maybe you feel like you're capable of more than what you're producing in life. And if you are, no matter what level you're at, my bet is you are capable of doing more. And if you are capable, then you must allow yourself to follow your heart, to produce the things in your life that you really want to produce. And if you're in a place like that, realize that there's so much more that you could be doing if you could just unleash your potential somehow. But maybe there's something holding you back and you don't quite know what that is. I get it. You know, you're in the right place, because what I did is, out of desperation, I poured myself into personal development, and I said to myself, you can either shrink and grow small when you have a challenge, or you can learn your way out. You may want to write that down. You can either shrink and grow small when you have a challenge, or learn your way out. So I read every book I could find, literally hundreds and hundreds of books. I went to seminar after seminar. I just saturated myself in great information. But the most frustrating part, believe it or not, there was a frustrating part about all this, is that I had read all the books, I attended the seminars, but still my life wasn't working. Right? It's like I had awakened the giant within, but when I did, the giant was just as pissed off as I was that we weren't any further along in life. No disrespect to Tony, I love him. Anyway, then one day, feeling torn apart, I discovered the missing ingredient. And you know what? In honesty, it was the sum total of all the information I got from people that came before me that finally clicked in my head, where I was able to transform my life. So there was a cumulative effect. And I went out and I became trained in neurolinguistic programming. I became one of the top teachers, where I travel all over the world teaching neurolinguistics, if you're familiar with that, NLP. It's rapid change sciences and clinical hypnosis. And I was teaching all over North America. And I was teaching for one of the largest companies in the world. We eventually became the largest company in the world. So the Academy of Wealth and Achievement, my company, we're now 6 times larger than our largest competitor out there today. So we're the leaders in the field of accelerated human change technologies. And it was using these technologies that I went from waiting tables and living in the ghetto on the verge of bankruptcy to developing a successful multi-million-dollar international empire in less than just 3 years. And just recently, I think we did $22 million in a single year in global sales of our products and services. So in this video, I'm going to share with you the secret strategies of a self-made multimillionaire, and you're going to learn how to recreate your life on your own terms. You're going to learn how to be truly rich. There are 2 points that I want to make right here, right now, and these learnings are vital for becoming the master of your own destiny. Number 1 is the idea that you can change your life quickly. You can make your life change in the flash of an eye. And over the course of these free training videos, I want to share with you why that's possible, how that's possible, and what you can do to change any aspect of your life, whether it be physically, emotionally, spiritually, or financially. Now, one of the big questions that a lot of people ask me is this: does it take long to change? Change actually happens quite quickly. Change can happen in an instant. When you're creating change, no matter what methodology you're using, what you're really doing is you're paving new neural pathways for change. The example I like to use is this. Let's say that you took the same road to work day in, day out for 30 years. Every single day took the same road to work. But one day somebody showed you a shortcut. How long would it take you to be able to make the choice to take the shortcut? You take it just like that.